welcome back to Musicians Chatting Music podcast. Here again today with another new guest, and that guest is Jay. Do you want to say hello?
Hello, mate. How are you doing? You all right?
All right. So, this is pretty cool because obviously, like I was saying before we started, the kind of the tables have turned a little bit here because we did a podcast for your podcast as well. Which will be coming out. Obviously, I'll probably get this out maybe beforehand, to be honest. Might not be coming out a bit later. But anyways, so on that podcast, you kind of were asking me questions on like my inspirations, motivation, kind of my backstory, my journey as far as the career and all those types of things go. So I thought it would be fun just to kind of spin it around a little bit and point that back in your direction, basically. So let's start from the beginning and kind of journey from there. So when was it that you kind of got into what it is you do now as far as like kind of the camera work and all of those types of creative things go?
I mean, like I first got a camera when I was in school. So I didn't do music like photography or video for a while. I just used to take photos of like back lanes and flowers and everything that everybody usually does, like allotments and stuff, skies and that. So I got like a little bridge camera, like a little compact, little Fujifilm compact camera, everything in one. You couldn't take the lens off or anything. And just started taking photos. And then when I think I was 15 or 16, I started like kind of going to gigs. Like I went to my first gig when I was 15, I think it was. And I saw photographers at the pit in the pit at the front, and I was like, "Ooh, that could be something I could do." Because obviously I love live music anyway. So that's like, and then I went to a few like local promoters, and I was like, "Oh, I'll come and take photos here at gigs, just little like in the Head of Steam and that in town." I was like, "Oh, I'll come and take photos here at gigs, like fun out. I'll just give us a photo pass and that." And I'll read through some of the messages that I sent, and I was like, "Oh, I need some exposure for my portfolio." But I just started doing that, and then I started working for a few local music magazines. So I was working a bit for Deviant magazine, which started at the time, and In the Pit magazine. And basically with Deviant, I was there like music kind of photographer, and I was like writing reviews and stuff as well and doing interviews and that. And I was like, why am I not doing this myself? Why have I not got my own magazine? So when I think I was 16 or 17 when I first started Shutter magazine, which is where the Shutter brand started. And I started basically applying for shows through Shutter because it always helps to like go through press, like or like a publication when you're trying to get like photo passes. So basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to get from taking photos like local bands and pubs and that to taking photos of bigger bands.
Yeah.
So I started applying for that, started getting better and better at like taking photos in low light, started getting better lenses and all that kind of stuff. But I've just always had a passion for live music. I just love seeing bands and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how it started. Like,
awesome. Random question. A lot of the questions that I ask on these are out of my own curiosity, but I guess they are quite educational as well. Have you ever played any instruments before, or just done this side of it?
Nah, I can half play Wonderwall and guitar. I haven't got the patience for it. Like,
you've always just been into the live music and that part of it, basically, yeah.
Well, I mean, I do more photography than just live music. I do like weddings, I do food videos, I do food photography, corporate events, nightclubs. I've done nightclubs in the past. I don't do them anymore, but I've done pretty much every area of photography. Like, but no, I'm not musical in the slightest.
Yeah, awesome. So when was it exactly, like year wise, when you launched Shutter?
Shutter Productions.
Yeah.
2014, 15.
Yeah.
That was when I started becoming like Shutter Productions. I did the Shutter Sessions before that, which was just basically like I was going around filming like videos with like local like singer-songwriters but back then I was getting someone else to edit the videos, someone else to do the sound, because I just didn't have a clue. I didn't have a good computer or anything, so I was just pointing my camera, sort of the venues where we were filming.
Yeah.
I did a few in Quilliams in Newcastle, the tea room.
Oh yeah.
Downstairs. Yeah. And then I just kind of got different places. But Shutter Productions started 2015, I would say, properly.
Right. Is that like with the space of your own and all that type of thing?
No, I've only had studios, because I've had two studios. The first one I moved into in 2018, and the second one I've been in since March last year.
So all pretty recent.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I've never actually been to those studios before. I feel like I should pay a visit sometime when all of this
Oh
comes.
yeah, get yourself down, man.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of pictures and kind of the promo side of things online, of course. Like that was kind of the way of things. I know we've been because I noticed you're really good at the online stuff, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you in the first place. But also, obviously, we've been talking a lot back and forth recently, as it is about
Yeah.
various different things. But I just remember I've had you on Facebook for I don't God knows how long at this point. But it's just like
Yes.
those yeah, exactly. But those people sometimes you just at first you might not talk to them, or like a little bit later down the line you talk to them, but you're always aware of them because they're always there in your news feed, and it's like, oh look, they're doing that, they're doing this, but it's always creative,
Yeah,
fun,
yeah.
cool things that I love, and obviously that's what it was for you, and obviously I respect and I love what you do. So I always pay attention, and I always paid attention when I was scrolling and all that type of stuff. So that's awesome. Um, when did the idea for the new venture start mapped out?
I like I've been developing, not developing, but I had the original idea in 2012.
Yeah,
Like, so years ago, but back then it was just basically a website with a map where you could pin your music to the map. That was all it was going to be.
that's where
But
it
like
came from. Yeah,
it kind of evolved as the years went on, because like there was a few websites like that, and it was just a bit. It wasn't interactive. It wasn't like you weren't creating any value. It was just a map of music. Like there was
yeah,
no like kind of search tools or anything. But lockdown has been an absolute blessing, because I've had the idea. I've been writing notes and writing plans and developing it and speaking to designers and stuff like for years and years and years. But
yeah,
I've just never had the time to create the content to promote it. So like at the minute, with the podcast and with all the social media content that I'm putting up, it's like I'm just kind of working towards the launch. So I'm going to launch later this year.
yeah,
So I'm just trying to create like a brand image at the moment.
yeah. No, you do a really good job of it. Like, because I feel like it kind of like I remember like we spoke on the phone briefly, like a few months ago, and you mentioned kind of what was going on, and then you went full forward with kind of the marketing, and I was like, whoa, this is looking really good now. You definitely know what you're doing in that department 100% as well. Is that just
the thing
kind of
is,
is that
the
just
thing
being
is, mate,
trial and error
I've
across the
I've only kind of started learning about like the social media marketing like in the
Yeah,
last couple of months, the last three
right,
months.
right.
Like I've just been kind of teaching myself it, because like I say, I've got loads of free time, because I work all the time. I'm like a full time
Yeah,
videographer. I've like obviously the studio and that, so it's very hard to like kind of do like a side hustle and do my full time thing, because Shutter
yeah,
Productions is my full time thing.
yeah. Yeah, so how did you go about learning all that stuff? Is it a combination of like Gary V and everything else?
Yeah, Gary V, man, Gary V's a boy. Like I
I'm
mean,
gonna
I've always known about marketing and stuff, but like
yeah,
in terms of like modern day, like 2020 marketing, it's very different to what it was last year. It's very different to what it was in 2018. It just evolves. You've got to keep up with it, because
yeah,
things change, like algorithms and everything change, content changes, like even the sizes on Facebook that you've
yeah,
got to put stuff up at and everything. It just changes all the time. So you just got to keep on top of it. Like,
yeah. I talk about Gary V. Well, I'll continue talking about Gary V until the day I
same
die.
man, such a sound bloke. Like,
One day I'll be happy when I meet him one day, and I can just kind of like everything. I'll
we
just feel
made
like everything has kind of come full circle once I've met him. Do you know what I
well,
mean?
mate, he's doing a show in London in February next year.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember you mentioning
I
that.
think it's like 75 quid or something, 80 quid. You don't get to meet him, but you get to see him. Like, it'll
Yeah,
make
yeah.
my
It's
life
still
that.
it's still worth it's still worth that amount in my opinion. Like definitely 100%.
I definitely.
I'd pay anything. But yeah. So another few random questions. What is it that because you kind of were asking kind of a similar question to me where it was like what kind of inspires you and motivates you and stuff like that. So I wanted to ask you that question as well because obviously I don't really know anything in the photography videography world as far as like I don't know like any inspirations as far as that goes, whether it's people or places or things or bands. Like what is it that kind of like maybe sparked it originally, and then what is it that continues to like inspire you and motivate you to this day?
I've just got a massive interest in people. I'm a proper people watcher. Like I did street photography for years as well. I did a project called 100 Strangers. I mean, I wasn't the first person to do it, but I did a project called 100 Strangers, and I went out. I had loads of coffee, and I went out and I just asked 100 people in the street if I could take the photo. I
Right.
saw someone doing it online. I just went out and I did that, and that got me confidence and stuff. But like, I've always just had a fascination with like the human condition and just watching people, and
Yeah.
like it translates through to music. Like live music especially is like the purest form of music, and like
Oh yeah.
seeing something live, even if it's watching someone perform in my studio for a video, like it's live
Yeah.
music, and that's just, I've got a massive passion for that. So human condition, lyrics as well, lyrics.
Right.
I don't really listen to the music. I listen to the words. Like I always have listened to the words.
Right.
So like I've just started doing lyric videos at the minute as well for different people because I like certain songs and I think that the lyrics go over people's heads. So I just an appreciation for words and music and people.
Yeah.
Just sounds
That's
cringy, but that's
yeah. That's really it's really interesting to hear because everyone has their own obviously inspiration, and it's kind of like I don't know. In a way, I'm used to with being a musician. When you ask other musicians that question, it's usually always this artist, this band, this singer, this song. So it's interesting to see a different take on it. What you've just described, where it's like something completely different to what I'm used to people like answering that question. It's really cool.
yeah. Like I wasn't really inspired by anyone to do what I do. I mean, there's a music photographer called Adam L. Macias, and he does A Day to Remembers photography,
Oh,
and
yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, yeah,
he does like a YouTube channel where he basically does like behind the scenes footage, like
right.
GoPro footage on top of his camera of shooting all these gigs. And I mean, that kind of inspired us. But like, I haven't really got an interest with working with a big band. I like working with local bands. I like putting local bands in the spotlight, which is what I'm doing with Shutter. That was the main goal. Like, I didn't even
Yeah,
charge when I first started doing it. I didn't think it was going to turn into a business. I just
right.
wanted to film with musicians. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah. So when did that like turn into a full-time business, I guess?
What Shutter?
Yeah, yeah.
2000. Well, I mean, photography was always like kind of a full-time thing. I've never had like I've had little bits of jobs here and there when I've been skinting that, but like I've been doing photography full-time pretty much since I was 18 or 19. So
Right,
like
right.
8 years, 9 years.
Yeah.
But
That's all.
Shutter, in terms of Shutter, like when I first started like actually just making all of my money from like the video production side of things
Yeah,
was
yeah.
2016, I would say.
Right, right. Huh, that's interesting because that's kind of when that's the same kind of thing for me actually. Because I graduated uni in 2016, and that's when I was like, right, time to go full on with all the teaching and gigs and all that type of stuff. And it was kind of like I was doing it kind of I guess part time for like half of 2016, half of 2017, and then after that, so it was like that year period, and then after that was like, right, I'll go for this full time now. It was really interesting how
Yeah.
like everyone's got
You
a
see,
different journey. What was that,
you
sir?
see, the thing is with me, like I was doing it while I was at uni. So like when I first started uni, I realized that I could make actual money from photography. I mean, I started selling key rings in nightclubs like every other photographer does. So I was selling people
IMVP,
key
whatever
rings.
it is.
I am VIP. So I was doing that, and I was shooting gigs, and I was doing like music events. But like
Yeah,
it wasn't until I was like 18, 19 that I started charging like
yeah,
proper money
yeah.
for stuff.
No,
And
it was the same. It was the same for me actually. Interestingly, because I've taught guitar since I was probably like 15. To be completely honest with you, like whether it was a few mates here or there, or like I don't know, like family friends or whatever. And it was always for like I always tell people I started off like I'd do it for like a fiver, so like pocket money. I just do like a few lessons here or there for like a fiver,
yeah,
and then throughout uni, I think I had like 3 private students throughout uni, and like I did a little bit of a after school club thing. So I was like, I can make money out of this, and I can do this, and I enjoy it. And like I say, it was 2016 when I graduated. It was like, right, I've got that time now. It's now or never. So let's turn this little portion of something into something huge. So I'm really interested in that journey, and I'm really excited that yours is kind of similar in that way.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like obviously, like because club photography was my main kind of income. Because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
obviously you've got to be 18 to go into clubs. So it wasn't until I was 18 that I could actually make serious money. Like I was making like more than double what I
right.
would make in like a 40-hour a week job doing club photography. But like I hated it. It's the same with you, I guess. It's the same with doing like, say you were to do a covers gig and had to play
Yeah,
Wonderwall all night.
yeah,
You don't like doing that, but you've got to do it for the money.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a strange thing, isn't it? Because like, yeah, I've always been kind of like between like two things where it's kind of like, well, I'm doing this gig and I'm playing guitar and I'm getting paid to play guitar. That's amazing. That's awesome. That's perfect. I'm happy about that. And then
Yeah.
when you start to play the same songs that you really don't really necessarily like over and over again every single week, it does get to that same point, like any normal job, where you kind of just like, like this is kind of this is a bit annoying now, or like I'm a bit tired of this, or like I want to do
Yeah,
something
yeah.
else. So it's a weird situation. It's a predicament really, because not many. I feel like you only end up in that predicament if you do your hobby as a job, or what you love as a job, or something creative as a job. I feel like you kind of end up in that corner sometimes, and it's weird. I dealt with a lot of years kind of bouncing back and forth between two mindsets of that kind of thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Yeah, so random question again. Really curious about this. I've got a feeling what the answer might be, but I just want to put it on the podcast anyway. I've noticed that you, just from Facebook and stuff, that you kind of a lot of people. A
Yeah, I
lot of
do.
musicians, a lot of singers, a lot of rappers, a lot of like creative people, stuff like that. How was that, just like reaching out to people and just saying like, do you want to like work together? Do you want to do a podcast? Like blah blah blah. Or was it just years and years of just kind of work and you just end up meeting all these people along the way type of thing?
I mean, probably about 15 to 20% of the people on my Facebook I haven't met. Like I've
Right.
met the majority of the people that I've seen. Whether that be at gigs, whether that be for photo shoot sessions. Because you think about it, like I worked with bands for years before I worked with rappers. So like
Yeah,
there's five members in a band and everybody has us on Facebook. So like
yeah,
I think it's just been a gradual build up of all the different people. But yeah, like I do, like in terms of creative people, like all I put on Facebook, unless it's like the odd meme, is music related content. Like I share
yeah,
people's music stuff, I talk to musicians, like that's all I
yeah.
do. Like if you look at my Facebook, 80% will be musicians, 10% will be photographers, and then like 10% will be just people that I'm pals with.
Right. No, that's really cool. It's really, because I'm always like, that's another thing.
I
Like,
mean, I'm pals with my music mates and my photography mates as well,
yeah,
but like
of course,
like
yeah, of
friends,
course.
you know what I mean, outside of the
Um,
industry.
I just remember that's like the two things that I remember about you: that you're always busy doing creative things, and that you seem to know everyone. That's the two things that come to mind. Every time I'm
Yeah,
scrolling, I'm like, how many rappers does he know?
I know pretty much every rapper in the Northeast. Like,
That's a good question as well. Again, out of general curiosity, what music do you actually like? What are you into? Maybe past, present, like past and present. Like, kind of, what did you love back then when you started, and like what do you love now, and that type of stuff.
yeah, I used to listen to like 30 Seconds to Mars and like My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, all that kind of stuff when I was younger.
Yeah,
Way before that, when I was a kid, I used to listen to like Cher, Shania Twain, because my mom always listened to it. So like
yeah,
I was shit to start with. Then became even shitter with My Chemical Romance and that. But like I started getting into like the heavier side of things just before I started uni. So
right,
like metal and hardcore and all that kind of stuff. I started listening to that. So like
yeah,
TRC, Knocked Loose, like Trapped Under Ice, all that kind of stuff. Like Bullet for My Valentine. Not even heavy stuff. Like just Asking Alexandria,
yeah,
Architects, all that kind of just a variety of heavy music. And then when I went to uni, the lads that I lived with at uni all like kind of like hip hop and like R&B dance music. Not so much R&B, but like poppy, dancey, like dubstep, things like that. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
And I think the alcohol culture at uni, where we were out every night, getting pissed every night, I think that kind of influenced my music kind of my change
yeah,
in music like tastes,
right,
because I was just in clubs all the time listening to that sort of music. My flatmates were always playing like dubstep and stuff, so I started listening to that, and obviously I was working in nightclubs as well.
yeah,
But I've always had a love for like the heavier side of things.
yeah,
um I mean, in terms of hip hop and rap and stuff, like I didn't really start listening to like rap, especially not local rap, until like 2018.
right,
Like I didn't really like it because like I grew up with a lad called Just B, Robert Story, right?
yeah,
He like grew up on my estate, and like he's the biggest grime MC in the Northeast, like
yeah,
the most popular, the most successful, and like he was sending me links on Facebook. So he's been sending me links since like 2014, and I just
right,
ignored every one of them because I thought it was like Makina and had a bit about all that.
right, yeah,
But like it wasn't until like 2017, 2018 that I started listening to him properly. I was like, he literally came from the same estate as me, and look at what he's doing.
yeah,
But like
No,
I like the
cool.
local hip hop, like it's mad. It's mad. Like I didn't even realize that Newcastle had a scene, which is why I do mostly hip hop at the minute because they need a
Mm.
platform. I mean, there's been platforms in the past, like up here, like
Yeah,
Big Scene TV and like that and that sort of thing. But like
yeah,
not
yeah,
on the
yeah.
level that I
It
do with the
definitely
studio sessions and that.
it definitely shifts as well. I've noticed that like the music kind of scene, I guess, because I remember like I used to be in a deathcore band in 2013, and
Mm.
it doesn't even seem like that long ago. It was quite a while ago now, but like deathcore was such a big thing back then, and like everyone I knew was in a deathcore band, and it was like the band that I was in at the time was from Suffering. Um, we
I
got
think I've
quite a
taken
bit of
photos of your band. I think I took photos of that band. I'm not even lying.
right.
I think I took photos of your band. I'm not even lying.
Yeah, that was definitely before I knew you then. Maybe that's how I ended up adding you on Facebook originally, something like that, maybe. But yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see kind of that part of it because I feel like it was deathcore for a while. Originally I feel like it was kind of pop punk, and then it was deathcore, and then it was metalcore, and then kind of hardcore, and then now it's went more in that kind of rap trap direction,
Yeah.
which I've noticed massively, and then I've noticed even more with the stuff that you have been posting and stuff. To be honest, because I'll pay attention to it and I'll be like, there's a lot going on here.
It's like the genres just do full cycle. Like when I
Yeah,
spoke to Shosha Noel in his podcast, like he was saying
yeah,
like Run DMC and Aerosmith did it, Linkin Park and Jay-Z did it, like,
yeah.
and it's just like with the rap metal kind of thing, and it's all like it just does cycles.
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's
But I
I
remember like
definitely
post hardcore was a weird phase
yeah.
because I didn't know what the fuck it was before I like went to the first gig, and it was just people kicking the shit out of each other. I was just like,
I was
whoa, mate.
massively, I was massively into post-hardcore. I still am. Like, do you remember a band Shadows Chasing Ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah,
were
yeah.
they were my like favorite band for at least two
The class.
years,
I've
and
taken
they were
photos of
like,
them. What this they supported who did they support at the O2 Academy? I can't remember. I think it was My Passion or something. I don't know. It was good though. It was good. They're a good band.
yeah. Yeah, it was weird because they were from like London, but they had quite a big following in Newcastle, and yeah, I just remember like I was younger, and I remember just like idolizing, even though they weren't huge. I just remember being quite young and just like idolizing them and being like, I wanna play this music on a stage. But yeah, I do need to pay attention to the local modern rap stuff a bit more, to be honest, because I've always liked rap, but I've always loved 90s rap the most, like Tupac and Biggie and like
Hip
NWA
hop.
and like
Yeah.
all of that type of stuff. And I felt like rap became a little bit terrible in like the 2000s, so I stopped paying attention. Like I wasn't like really alive to pay attention in the 90s, obviously, but I didn't pay attention to the 2000s stuff. But now, like all the stuff you just mentioned, I think it is quite interesting. So I definitely need to make the effort to check that out 100%.
Yeah, man. Like old school stuff, like hip hop, like I say, like nineties stuff. There's a few artists you should check out. There's JR Dream Chaser.
Yeah.
He's on Spotify. There's
Right.
Jonesy, who's on SoundCloud. He's old school, like hip hoppy kind of stuff. That's the only two that come to mind because most of the artists that I work with are like kind of grime or like
Yeah.
that, like the heavier side of things, not like the faster side of music.
Yeah.
But JR and Jonesy, like they're
Right.
bringing the old school back. Like,
Oh, awesome. I love it. I'm gonna kind of slowly work towards wrapping this up. So I wanted to ask you, what's next for you, basically? So what you're working on? What's your plans? What you want to achieve? What you're doing in the coming months, the rest of 2020, and things like that.
well, with Shutter Productions, I've just introduced a thing called the City Sessions, where basically because of quarantine and because of lockdown and because of social distancing, it's going to be incredibly hard for me to get people into the studio because I use like a shared mic. So like this
Yeah.
that mic gets used by everyone.
Right.
So like I don't, and without having to replay it, without cleaning it all the time, which you can't do with condensers like yourself,
Yeah.
without cleaning it all the time, blah blah. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm doing the City Sessions, which means that I can record anywhere, anytime,
Mhm.
without being in like a confined space and without having to like kind of share a mic. So that's what I'm going to be focused on doing for the next couple of months until lockdown's kind of, well, not lockdown, but like social distancing's kind of lifted.
Yeah.
Um, I'm doing content marketing packages for people.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm saying to a musician, if you want to come in 1 day a month, I'll do you like 2 or 3 videos, repurpose them into loads of little bits of like little clips and little quote posts like I've been doing on Mapped Out.
Yeah.
And then you've got like a couple of months worth of content from 1 day's work.
Right.
And instead of like working over the like 2-3 months with them coming back and forth to the studio, I can just get everything done in 1 day, repurpose it all, give them a folder with all that stuff in, and then they've got content for ages.
Right.
So I'm doing that. Obviously Mapped Out's hopefully launching at the end of the year. I want to get to a good level where people are like kind of engaging with the brand a lot before I do it.
Right.
I've just started working with Meat Stack, which is like a burger restaurant in Newcastle.
Oh, okay.
So I'm doing all of their content for them. So I'm doing like videos and photos for them. They're opening a new restaurant soon on the big market.
Right.
Fantastic burgers. You should definitely go and get one.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
that meant. And just more of the same. Just more of the same. Like I'm on a like a good path at the minute. Nothing really is going to change. I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing, but like in different ways.
Yeah, I've noticed that you've adapted quite well. There's a lot of people that can adapt easier or quicker, and you're definitely one of those people that's kind of like just on it straight away. Like, like this is the scenario, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is what's gonna happen. And I really respect that, and I love it. It's awesome.
Cheers, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, awesome. I'm gonna wrap this up now. So, like I say, thank you again for doing this. A little bit shorter than the one we did, I think, but I tend to keep these ones quite short, anyways. But yeah, I look forward to all the stuff that you're doing, and as always, we'll keep in touch, and I'll speak to you soon.
Nice one, man. Speak to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
See you later. Catch you later, man.
Thank you.